Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Thursday, July 23rd, 2020. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. One thing you'll notice here is that price is currently trading completely above the key range high. This is now going on the third day after it closed above it for the first time with a bullish outside bar here. This key range high is very, very important. Again, this market is poised to continue higher within this framework until price closes back below that pivot high on a daily closing basis. And until that happens, this market is still likely to continue to be pushed higher on every downside rotation. For example, defending previous session lows is a really good way to look for rejections, in addition to any pullbacks that become as deep as the 8-period pivot based EMA or below that zone into the Pima trigger zone, right? So anything into this area as deep as that or perhaps into the zone is still to be defended until proven otherwise. And right now, until price closes below that 32.31, this market is poised to continue higher toward about 3,300 to 3,315 on the next rotation. I'm getting that by looking at a 4-day range here. We had a narrow 4-day range right in this zone and got the breakout on that day. That suggests we have about 124 points of range to go to complete that from that pivot low. So right now that could be looking at about 3,300 to 3,315 on a near-term basis. But again, based off the key range targets, 33.85 could still be the major target to complete here, and that would put us into the monthly ADR target zone based on average monthly range. So right now, full steam ahead to the upside until proven otherwise. One thing to keep an eye on if this thing were to rotate a bit deeper would be the previous session's midpoint. Failure to hold 49.5 would start to open up perhaps a retest of the previous session's low. Alright, let's take a look here at the NQ. One thing about the NQ here, it did develop a nice impulse move here that gave us a great key range to work with on an intraday basis. Right now we're seeing price action within that range, and for the most part on a 60-minute time frame you're seeing a bit of a rounded bottom behavior here with price attempting to hold the midpoint of that range at 849. If it can, that can lead to a bit of strength here that could ultimately lead price back toward the 983 halves and the 11050s. So that could be the next upside target there if price can continue to hold the 849s in the short term. Failure to hold 849s here would rotate price back to the previous session's low, and again, that could provide an opportunity for a trap and a return back toward value. Okay, let's take a look now at crude oil. So crude oil currently seeing a rejection of the previous session's high. That's around 42s here, so you can see this right there. Price pushed beyond it and is now back below that level and approaching the previous session's midpoint, which is 41.59. A failure to hold 41.59 could rotate this thing again into a bearish outside day into 41 for a retest. But any weakness right now has been met with additional strength that follows this thing right back up. Again, very bullish price action here so far. Perhaps this could change if this is a rejection of the previous month's high. Then if that's going to be a case, then we could perhaps see a rotation back to retest the low of the month, which is currently 38.54. But in order for that to happen, you'd have to have a close below 41 on a daily closing basis. So right now, until that happens, 41s could be the next buying opportunity on a short-term basis for the day. And a failure to hold that overall could open up more weakness back toward 40 and perhaps as low as 38.50 by the end of the month. Right now, all signs still point to more upside. Lastly, taking a look here at gold futures. Big upside move. We got to a high of 87.90 here, 1887.90. So again, all that energy we built up in here, we talked about the 7-day range. We've seen a major increase of volatility here on a multiple day range basis. Right now this is set to 4, but if you were to set it to 8 or 9, let's do that right now and just quantify that. So right here, if we set this to 9, again, you'll see the compression that occurred right there. Boom, and this thing explodes up you would be expecting about 77.9 points. We got 96.8, and that's a huge move right there. And so typically after something like that happens, you would see another period here of compression and a digestion of that recent move. That could bring this back down as this builds up for the next perhaps explosive move ahead. So right now, as long as price remains above our 1831s, this remains on a path to the 1900 target we offered, in addition to that 1957.70 down the way. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.